York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. The Knicks lose to the Celtics, second game in a row, 133 to 123. And once again, back-to-back games, the Knicks give up over 70 points at halftime. Do not like this trend. Last game we gave up 75. This time we gave up 74 at halftime. And everybody was killing us. We could not guard the three. Porzingis killed us. Whose man's is this in the start, even though we do know him, but for the sake of argument, whose man's is this? Derek White killed us. Whenever your fifth, sixth option gives you 30 points, bruh, it's a whose man's is this to me. And the Knicks lose. And there's other storylines to talk about. We had Quentin Grimes, who went to the bench in because of the Big Ragu. Big Ragu starts in place of Quentin Grimes and actually worked out for Quentin Grimes. But we're going to talk about it all, the good. There's a slither of good. Slither, but mostly bad. And the very concerning and ugly. Let's get to it all. Well, I'm going to introduce you to the Latin Assassin, ESPN contributor, my man, Elias Cabito, my man, the guy that stats and facts, Ryan G, in the building, and also my RD1 college hooper over here, Ebony. Shout out to you guys. Let's get to it, man. I really want to talk about the Quentin Grimes versus Dante DiVincenzo. Even though they're on the same team, I feel like the fans make it feel like it's the versus, But I'm just head it huddle. I feel like the spirit is telling me for Lee to talk right now.
Let's go.
The spirit is telling me.
Fill with the spirit, baby.
Yeah, the spirit. Lee was like, he came in, he was like, guys, you're gonna have a really good conversation. You're gonna have a really good conversation. So I feel like there's a lot on his mind.
I do. I've been having some very intense discussions over the last couple of days on Knicks Twitter with various high-profile micro celebrities, having discussions about Tibbs, about the roster, about Leon Rose, about RJ Barrett, about Julius Randle, who we should get, who we shouldn't get. And I have walked away from an even greater respect and appreciation for this team, to be able to be a part of this team and to really be on a panel of very rational, clear thinkers. I'm probably the one that's the most extreme in my views. And don't worry, there's no fire Tibbs sign coming out tonight. Although I would say this was the first time since I put the sign down, actually I tore it up, that the thought flashed in my head for a split second, like, maybe we should have a different guy on the sideline.
Listen.
But I am not saying fire Tibbs yet. The playoffs are the only thing that matter to me, not a regular season game in early December. It sucks, but to me at this point, it's all about the playoffs and how he coaches there.
Lee, to your point, to your credit, today wasn't the best Tibbs day.
This L is 100% on Tibbs, in my opinion.
Today was not the best Tibbs day. So I can see why people will be upset with the way Tibbs finagled this game today, but continue.
Yeah, in my opinion, everything he did tonight was awful. The rotations were awful. The fourth quarter decision making was awful.
Yeah.
This was my least. It's hard to say the worst loss of the season. This is my least favorite loss of the season. It's the one that has me the most tight, and the one that had me the most zeroed in on Tibbs' decision making this game. Listen, man, I'm no Hubie Brown. I've never played any level of competitive basketball in my life. Like, I'm not here to say I know more than Tibbs, but I do have a two pair of eyes that work pretty well. And I think I can say whether or not I feel like the coach had good decision making in this game. And I would say absolutely not from start to finish. The Brunson injury, prayers up for my main man, my favorite player. Yeah. I hope he's all right. It was absolute idiocy that he was in there, that any of his stars were in there in the last minute when we were down by double digits. And the momentum was nowhere in our favor. So they should be on the bench. I did a few more things out. This loss, 100% on Tibbs. But I'm not overreacting. No fire Tibbs, no trade Randall, no trade RJ, no trade for a superstar. Don't fire Leon Rose. There's a lot of criticism to go around about how small this team is and
Yeah.
how unable we are to guard big, giant wings that can score. And I have a great conversation topic to talk about later on about who I was watching the game with tonight and what his thoughts were on this. But we do need to make an upgrade at the deadline to bring in someone who can guard a player over 6'5", who's able to shoot threes. Because right now we can't. It's a 6'3", 6'4" defender, and when things switch, no matter where they're on the perimeter, it's just we're going to jade up. So that's an easy fix we can do right now, and for not a lot of our assets. But let's pause on firing. But it's time to start thinking about the future and thinking about timelines. What timeline are we on, and who is along for the ride on that timeline?
A lot of good points. A lot of good points. Today was the shortest I felt in a while. When you had Porzingis posting up RJ. Listen, I've said from the beginning I was never worried about rebounding because we're missing Obi Toppin. What I was worried about was when we play teams and they're big and they just end up just shooting right over the top over us because we don't have a real pack of power forward. So like nights like this are like what I'm really worried about from us not having pack of power forwards, not necessarily rebounding because look, I mean we're still a top rebounding team in the league. You know what I'm saying? So people will be thinking about rebounding, but it's like it's really about me. It's about the defense with the height, not necessarily rebounding. Because I feel like we have guards that can rebound, so it's a little bit different for me.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Ryan G, man, what did you think about this game? What are your thoughts?
Um, well, clearly it wasn't a good game tonight. Um, I didn't like the way the Knicks guarded the pick and roll with Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the reasoning behind, like for example, when they ran pick and roll with Tatum and Porzingis, like I understand they're both a threat, but you're gonna double Tatum off the pick and roll and leave Porzingis wide open for three, and Porzingis is there shooting nearly perfect from the field, and he's draining threes. Like I didn't understand the reasoning behind that and why they guarded the pick and roll that way.
Can I pause
And let
there? Can I pause there? Only because I heard Tom Thibodeau say part of the reason why he didn't let Mitch back in the game was because he wasn't getting up on the threes. So because I know because that question of is this scheme or is this the way it's supposed to be played comes into mind. I think Mitch has been dropping off way too low, and
Agreed.
I don't think it was schemed to drop off way too low because Hartenstein wasn't in the paint like Mitch was. But continue.
yeah, I just didn't understand that. The Celtics just are the better team, you know. And I know like I've said this, from the previous games, like the Knicks are just with the way the roster is at the moment, the Knicks are not ready to really make that run to like a conference finals or whatever the case may be. Because this team has a lot of flaws, especially with size. And when they face teams like the Celtics that are big and can shoot the three, the Knicks are in trouble because the Knicks already don't guard the three well as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, they have a bunch of 6'4", 6'5" guys running out to these guys who are like 6'7", 6'8", and up on the three-point line. There's only so much they can do to challenge the three to begin with. And you see that, the team has flaws. And I think it's an issue also when you see the team is pretty much perfect against teams under 500, but teams over 500 are only 2-9. And that's an issue. And I'm not quick to say fire Thibs or there has to be some drastic change or whatever the case may be, because if you check the history that the Knicks have been since Thibs been here, the Knicks usually turn it up towards the latter part of the season. So I'm reserving judgment on major changes until it gets deeper into the season. But at the moment, it's not looking good, especially against teams that are better than, especially against teams that are over 500, like the actual good teams of the NBA that Knicks need to actually challenge against if they want to, take that next step up in development and getting further in the playoffs and things of that nature.
Yeah, nah, I agree. 3-point defense has been really bad. Quietly, it's been a problem, even though we've been winning. Fred Katz kind of wrote about it. We like the fifth worst team in allowing corner threes in the NBA before during that Bucks game. Teams were shooting like 41% against us in that corner three, and we like quiet as kept. We was getting killed by KP, but that corner three has also been a thorn in our side this game as well. Probably as much as KP was, maybe even more. So that has to be shored up. Ebony, I know you. I know you about to say something about Mitch because I criticized him. I saw you squirming. What are your thoughts on the
Yeah,
game?
definitely. Earlier, yeah, in the beginning, I missed the 8 points KP got, but I'm assuming that was on Mitch because I was chastising my kid.
Oh,
But other than that, what I did see with him playing defense is he did pick up the pressure on a 3-point defense. It was actually Boston started running picks for KP. They
Mhm.
actually was running KP off of screens. So to see, and then the way they did it was they used KP as a screener while they running him off screens. So now you're worrying about KP and I think it was Jalen Brown who came across for the three.
Mhm.
But yeah, with me, Mitch, it wasn't even a 3-point defense with him. Lately, he's been missing a little bit of watching his man in the ball, and he's been a little late on sometimes being able to help on the rim protection.
Mhm.
So we don't need that, especially with our perimeter defense right now. It's traffic coning. Um, I seen it from Milwaukee's game. It was like I clipped a couple. I didn't put it out, but I might have to. It was a couple, not even any one or no crossover, just straight first step blow by defense.
There was a lot of those. There was a lot. And
Yeah, so that started in Milwaukee's game also. You've seen it, and I'm not understanding. We have to rethink our strategy when it comes to 3 pointers. This is a shooters league. You can't afford to just let people shoot, especially when you're not shooting well, and it's trading twos for threes. That's going to be a loss. You're
yeah,
going to lose, and you can't guard the three, and now we can't seem to guard the paint. Yeah, this we're going to if teams are good teams are going to continue to do this. I'm not going to scream it, but I'm going to start whispering that fire Tibbs thing. It's going
Whoa.
it's going to be a whisper.
Whoa.
wow.
It's going to be straight
Whoa.
whisper.
Whoa.
Yes, I'm
Listen,
not
Man.
screaming it yet. I'm not screaming it yet. But
Man.
if this continues, you have to because when does it become the conversation of is it the system or the players?
well,
Is it the system of the players? Because we see Grimes in the same position that Dante was kind of doing his thing in, and now we see Dante not getting the touches. So
yep.
Point
again,
guard,
And you
point
is
know
it
that
the
guard.
conversation is about to
system
come. I'm trying to
Yeah.
hold
or
it.
is it the
Yeah.
players? That's the conversation I've been trying to have for a long time, and people have been throwing a lot of excuses my way.
You saw the tweets I had, but I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna
people
get to
people
it. But
people throwing a lot of excuses in my way, and again, you have to ask the question: is it the system or the players? If we have a different system, how does this team look?
well, defensively.
Both
Well,
offensively and
no,
defensively,
no,
I
no, no.
mean.
I'm
Oh,
responding to something because you have to realize the teams that have been smacking us lately, what they have in common, right?
they can shoot.
One, they have one they can shoot, but two, they all have stretch. They should have stretch fives.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have stretch fives, you're taking away our greatest strength
Hmm.
on defense, which is taking Mitch out of the paint, which opens up passing lanes, which puts even more pressure on defenses, on perimeter defenses. So now we have Jalen Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo and the perimeters. Mitch pulled out, and now you're saying stop them one on one, damn near. And now it's a recipe for disaster, which is kind of what I was afraid of with the Grimes Dante Div. Then you have Derek White, who's averaging 15 points, give you 30 points, which is kind of what my fear was. Now, it's a small sample size, it's only one game, but the Grimes Dante thing, like Dante was able to get off against the bottom feeder teams in the Hornets and the Wizards,
Washington Wizards.
where those teams aren't at depth of guarding that corner three like these other good teams are. So those passing lanes aren't there. They promote more ISO ball. They had Drew Holiday guarding Julius Randle like half the night. And forced them
Julius
into
had
six turnovers.
Yes. And he had that in the third quarter. At the end of the third, he had 6 turnovers.
6 turnovers. So, listen, at the end of the day, Dante had what, 6 points? He had 6 shots and 6 points today. I don't know, man. He should be more aggressive. I don't know. He should be more aggressive. Grimes had 13 points. He had 10 shots in less minutes. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like Dante's just not being aggressive enough.
He should have relocated.
Yeah, he should have relocated.
Cut.
I think he should have tried harder there. I don't know. That's sarcasm if you didn't realize. It's like,
Yes.
of course he took less shots now. I'm going to be tracking this. I'm going to be tracking this to see how this plays out for the rest of the season. Because it's funny how Grimes is more of a flow all of a sudden, to the point where my man is did you see Grimes had a pick and roll pass to Mitch Rob on the side?
He got IQ an easy bucket too. He created an easy bucket for IQ for the 3.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't see that in the starting lineup. And again, we were talking about, how the stretch takes our strength out on defense. On offense, what takes us out of it is the ISO. And also, a lot of times, Brunson and Randle, without it being anybody underneath the rim, what are we good at? Offensive rebounding. Without it being anybody underneath there, they'll take shots. It's way too many possessions where they do that and where nobody else touches the ball at all.
Yeah. We need to find a way.
That has to stop.
When Randle gets the ISO, because this becomes a problem when Randle plays anybody one-on-one. The ISO ball is promoted. The flow stops. And listen, we still scored 120 something points. The bigger issue is still the defense. It really is. But we still pointing it out just because it was crazy. But I don't know. It was just interesting. It was just interesting to see the flow chart and the shot charts that's been happening today. I don't know if Ryan or Lee wants to chime in on this conversation.
That shooting guard position, it's not Grimes, it's not DiVincenzo. That's just the role. You have this game, there's so little off-ball movement, so little off-ball action. There's no decoy. No one is ever playing decoy. It's when you can just, where the ball, whoever's moving off ball, that person's getting the ball. But it's very easy to adjust and defend us on offense. Both the offense and defense worry me. I would say equally. I'm not less worried about either. I think the defense has more room to improve. I don't think the offense has any room to improve unless you just pass the ball more. But this read and react scheme that Tibbs runs so much, it doesn't leave much room for creativity because you're putting the responsibility on the player's hands, and not every player has the same level of IQ, and also not every player is gonna make the right decisions as well offensively. And it plays to Randle and Brunson's weaknesses, which is to be on ball. Brunson has the highest on ball rate, 16 seconds per possession for the entire team, and just dribble the air out of it and then take a very difficult, but for those two guys, makeable shot. But that's not the case for everybody else. Grimes that's the role of that 2 guard, is to be the last option. In my opinion, even below a lob to Mitch, that shooting guard is going to be the last one looked at to be able to have a one-on-one opportunity. And it don't matter who you put there. You can upgrade that position to someone even better, a Dorian Finney-Smith. It's still going to be a guy who's going to average 4 or 5 points a game and maybe only 3-4 touches. That's a nature of that starting 2 guard. When the bench comes in, the ball moves more. Hartenstein is more of a playmaker. He's able to operate in this season even higher. So you have more outlet passes. You have more transition opportunities. Now the DiVincenzos over Grimes as a backup have more opportunities to score. But that starting 2 guard spot, I don't care who you put there. It's going to be a failure no matter who's there.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like, and again, I want to stress this. Offense, all this is true. But at the end of the day, we still scored 120. Defense is still the bigger problem to me right now. And even with the Bucks, it was horrible. But we still scored a lot. Defense is the biggest problem. To me, that corner three defense, it's the effort, it's the scheme. I don't even know if it's the effort. I feel like it's the effort. Because when I look at the second unit and how they played in the third into the fourth quarter leading, how many open threes did you see in that fourth quarter when the second unit played?
It's also scheming. I'm come to realize the teams are hunting Julius Randle in that pick and roll system.
Oh yeah, I said that. I said the game before they hunt
Yeah,
because he's
definitely.
lazy.
So when you have him not in the game, they can't hunt him. You understand?
But this is what I'm saying.
That lineup that came in, he wasn't in that lineup.
But this is what I'm saying. That's not scheme. They're hunting him. Why? Why are they hunting him?
Because he's dropping in the 3-point. He's giving them good looks at 3-point.
He's dropping.
Him and Brunson keep playing under screens.
They're not supposed to. That's what I'm saying.
No, you asked that what happened. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what that has to change. That has to change. We have to hedge better. They have to show.
Yes.
Right.
They have to show on those 3-pointers. You don't let Damian Lillard or Booker, which I was trying to win that last second shot, which I was trying to explain to you. You can't give them that look. That's a good look for them.
I agree.
You understand? So you have to hedge. You have to hedge. You cannot. I had a whole thread on X. If y'all get a chance, check it out. Because you cannot guard the pick and roll the way he's guarding it.
No.
It's not going to ever work. And when he comes up, good things happen every time. So I understand why he doesn't do it more often.
Because he's conserving energy and being lazy. And that's why I say it's not scheme. Because when the second unit comes in, they're not dropping off. Mm-hmm. They are hedging. I feel like the second team is executing the plan the way it's supposed to, and then the first unit, or more likely Julius Randle, mm-hmm. he's conserving energy. I don't have to do it this time. He's that's what he's on.
Yeah. When I mean scheme, I'm not talking about us as a scheme. I mean the opposing team scheme is the time.
Right.
Julius Randle in the pick and roll situation. Because
and that's on
he
coach.
Drops.
That's on
coach. He drops. Again, the last 2 games it's been really you can really see it. He basically told Cam Payne to take a wide open layup because he dropped back so much. He gave him a floater. Today he just you can't do that. You have to surprise them, give them some resistance, make them feel you.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, just allowing them to square up. That's easy peasy for shooters. This is a shooter league.
That's a fact. I didn't even want the first unit back in the game. I didn't want him back. When we was cutting down into lead and they had Brunson and Randall the scoring tape, I was like, sit down.
Yes.
Sit down. Let them finish the game, because this intensity is the most intense it's been all night. And then in the last 2 minutes of the game, I saw Randall actually get off his butt and actually defend in the last 2 minutes of the game. But we need more than 2 minutes of defense. Ryan, do you have anything to say? I feel like you looking mad intense right now. You just listen.
Not really. I mean, y'all said everything. Like, I really don't have nothing else to add. Yeah, pretty much.
Got you. But I don't know, man. Like we have to go back to the drawing board on the defense, and Tibbs has been happy and smiling lately. This is when you need old school curse you out Tibbs that pissed off everybody in the Wolves, including Carney. I need that Tibbs back for this team right now, because they're mailing it in defensively on back-to-back games, and we're gonna have a lot of tough teams coming up. We have Toronto coming up, which is like the bottom feeder teams, but I feel like we've been able to not go as hard on these bottom feeder teams. And because of that, we kind of the habits haven't been sharpened. Because we've been beating up on these bottom feeder teams, and we've been out talenting the bottom feeder teams on offense for a lot of nights. We'll take off a third quarter and then finish them off.
Yeah.
But for these better teams, we're gonna have to buckle down, be more intent of how we play defense, and be more disciplined in our rotations.
I'm seeing some people in the chat saying that Tibbs has lost a team, or maybe there's signs of that. I disagree with that. I do not think Tibbs has lost a team. I think there are certain players that are starting to get tired of his shit. And all it will take is an RJ or a Mitch, because I think Brunson and Randall, how can they not be happy? They're getting paid, they're getting stats, they're getting NBA recognition, they're getting awards. It's not going to be those two. It's going to be either RJ or Mitch, because you've seen what happens with OB and Cam and Grimes. They're either regulated to the bench or their minutes are struck or they're traded when they start speaking out. But if RJ or Mitch starts talking to the media or starts talking about a lack of touches or archaic offense or they need some new ideas, that could make the entire ship change. That could force Leon Rose's hand, or to start having a new discussion with people who have been anti-firing Tibbs or having thought about it to start thinking about it. And it would, I think, change the scope of Tibbs' impression on this team. If someone who's been in the lineup for 34 seasons, has grown under him, got the bag under him, like RJ or Mitch, start speaking out. And I think that's very possible if things don't change. We were like 2 weeks away from deja vu of last year. It was like late December when that Mavs loss happened, and I got my ass kicked out of the stadium because I was trying to fight everybody. This is same month. We're a year later, and we're in a situation where something needs to change, or that win-loss is going to get closer to 500, and we're going to stop being able to beat anybody at one point because the voice was starting getting drowned out in the locker room of Tibbs. We are not there yet. I don't think we're close to being there yet. But if RJ or Mitch start getting frustrated, we will be there immediately. And so I don't think the two guard rotation needs to change because it's the role. Someone in the chat pointed out, you're right. Bowden's in Chicago, Kyle Korver, what was the other guy's name? Ronnie Brewer. Those guys, they didn't score. They were the guard, the opposing team's best player, or shoot an open three when it was available. This role is never going to evolve with Tom Thibodeau as a head coach. That two guard situation will be the exact same. I don't care who you put there. You even put Jimmy Butler or DeMar DeRozan, and those shot charts going down immediately just because of the nature of his offense. But all that being said, do not interpret that as Tibbs is in the locker room. We're close to it. He is not. But now Grimes is the next player we have seen get frustrated. If RJ or Mitch are next, then he has.
Can I say something real quick too, Lee?
Yeah.
I think it might be on the verge though. That's why I always give credit to these kids. Not kids, the players we have on our team, because they could go get disgruntled. There's been times where they had reason to actually be disgruntled.
Agreed.
You understand? But the fact that they just worked harder and got better at their craft, that's why I was like, be grateful of the people we have on this team. Because everybody cannot handle this or play under Tibbs, you know. To have a small window for less mistakes, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, it seems like he holds the role players at a higher standard than he does his stars.
100%.
That's true.
I don't get it. You know, Randall didn't play a good game, and one time where he was actually shooting well from 3-pointer, run him off some screens or something. Why you got him dribbling and him turning the ball every 2 seconds over? You get what I'm saying? Run him off ball. He's shooting. Let him get some shots, some easy shots. Let him see and shoot until the wheels fall off, like other teams do. We just stop. People hot, and we don't know if they hot or just having a good shooting stretch, you know, because we stopped going to them. We beat ourselves in so many ways. Again, we're gonna have to have that conversation real soon. If this continue, is it system or is it players?
Shit.
I don't think I think you're gonna be holding your breath for a very long time if you're waiting for RJ or Mitch to complain.
Nah, I don't think especially RJ.
RJ is getting his touches. He's got his touches today. He's got his touches since he's been here. There's no reason for him to complain. Mitch will complain on social media like he usually does. They'll laugh it off. Ha ha ha, Mitch. And then he'll play defense and do the same. That 2-guard spot, though, that's the only place you might get complaints is from whoever's playing that 2-guard spot, like you guys said. Other than that, you're going to be waiting a very long time. Yeah. That's all. That's it.
under any other franchise, the amount of time Tibbs has been here is long enough for him to be fired. Like, this is the 4th season. That's like the NBA lifespan. That's actually a little bit longer for an NBA lifespan, but maybe right for him because of his 10-year relationship with the front office. You know, the success he had with the Chicago Bulls, even the 1-year playoffs in Minnesota. So, but any other team, Chicago, Charlotte, Toronto, 4 years is that's a decent time, decent sample size to fire him and elevate Johnny Bryant. I think we're past the Johnny Bryant point right now. And I think he is so connected to Tibbs. All he knows for the last 4 or 5 years is being with Tibbs. And that I don't think he's the right person or voice. If he had those ideas, why the hell wouldn't you tell Tibbs to implement them? Like, I don't think there's any secret magic waiting behind for Johnny Bryant to hop on the sideline and all of a sudden with the Indiana Pacers. I don't think that's going to happen. If we're going to fire Tibbs, we better go out there and hire someone who's won a championship like Ty Lue. Someone who, not championship, but West Conference Finals, East Conference Finals twice, maybe 3 times. Yeah. You can't fire Tibbs and hire someone with no playoff experience. Like, I've heard some bozo theories about firing Tibbs, bring back Mike Miller, fire Tibbs, bring back Jeff Van Gundy. Don't you realize that Tibbs learned everything he knows from Jeff Van Gundy? Or fire Tibbs, bring in Stan Van Gundy?
Yeah.
Like, oh, bro. Like,
it's a frustrating game. It's still way too early to be talking about. It's a 2-game winning streak, 2-game losing streak.
I
don't even think we had a 3-game losing streak all season yet.
But we're just commenting. There's a large section tonight, JLS, on Twitter saying fire Tibbs.
But that's
large.
That's going to happen when you lose 1 or 2 in a row. If you lose 3 in a row, the place burns down.
I think, to be honest, I think people are saying fire Tibbs because to me, I'm not talking about whisper. I know, again, I'm telling, it's too early of a game to really be screaming that. You know, we don't know, again, if this is regression or if it's just a slump of us, you know, lack of focus or whatever you want to call it. But it's just the way that we're losing. You understand?
Yeah, we have a winning record. We still have a winning record, guys. We still have a winning record. We're still a top 8 team in the East.
We have a winning record because we've been fortunate to play 10 teams with losing records now.
You have to consider that. I agree.
Yes, we played 10 teams with losing records, but we've also built ourselves up to be a team who's better than those teams because of the talent and the coaching. Listen, we've had success year to year. If we had Fizdale, we wouldn't be winning right now, right? I don't want to go overboard and have like a whole 20-minute fire Tibbs conversation because we're on a 2-game losing streak in December. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have the criticisms. I understand that. But if it starts getting if you start getting on long losing streaks, then we'll revisit this conversation. Like, it's too early for this.
I don't think we're having a fire Tibbs conversation. I'm just responding to the large group of people on Twitter who are having that conversation. And I think I can understand why they do. I disagree with it. I am not advocating for firing Tibbs. I'm not on that bandwagon anymore. And to me, even if we had a long losing stretch, I'm still not for it. To what? Move in Johnny Bryant, losing the first round. I'm saving my fire Tibbs for the playoffs.
Yeah.
How
the fire Tibbs happens after wins with Twitter. So it's like,
I'm saving it though.
It's happening in the chat.
Saving it.
It's like it is what it is. But
don't extend Tibbs though. No extension. That's for damn sure.
I'm waiting and see, like I said, like everything else. I'm gonna wait for the season to play out. I'm waiting for the playoffs to play out, and then make the decision. I'm not gonna make the decision over extensions or any of that. 20 games in to the season. We still have 60 games left in the playoffs.
I got my eye on him.
See everything together. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I got my eye on Tibbs. He under watch. I seen some things I don't like, and I don't think it had anything to do with the players. Really, you understand?
Agreed.
Like, so yeah, I wanted to know, like everybody else, why RJ sat down so long. RJ looked like RJ today. He was playing at his own pace, hitting the 3 at a fairly good clip. I thought he should have been in there. He should have been the first sub, not Randall. That was a little weird.
Ironically, this is the conversation I actually wanted to get to. The fourth quarter. RJ, and to me, RJ should have definitely been playing in the fourth quarter. And Grimes should have definitely been playing. Like, ironically, this was the game. I'm like, oh, Grimes has a rhythm. Y'all struggling defensively. He's our best point of attack defender, and he's hitting shots.
Mm-hmm.
RJ Barrett had the floater game going today in that little area. He was hitting threes today. And he was a bulldog. He shot 56% from the field, 40% from three. This was the game I was waiting for RJ for a while. I did not understand the decision to take RJ or Grimes out in the fourth quarter. I didn't understand it at all. This was the game to beat both of those guys.
Yeah, Tibbs always thinks that Randall and Brunson have to finish out the game. I get it, I understand, but I am not a fan of that type of coaching. It's what you're doing during this game. How are you impacting this game right here? Not what you did last game or the game before. What are you doing in this game? And then my lineup should reflect that. That's just me though. I'm not the coach. But
Yeah.
I didn't understand his rotation.
Can you
There
guys
was a
give me
lot of
1 second? I'm
experimenting
sorry.
today.
Like, I smell something very weird and it's concerning me. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
It smells like a fire. So
Oh no, yeah. Go ahead and go check that out.
Wait, fire
But
Tibbs?
you're so stupid. I noticed that was experimental, y'all. That there was some parts today. I don't know. I noticed the last game too. Instead of RJ, he's putting Randall in that for him to be the power forward and the backup power forward. So he's like, Randall, that's just it. You the power forward for the game. And when he wasn't in the first half, he had Mitch run with the smaller lineup when there wasn't a legit power forward in there. So it seemed like it was a lot of experimental lineups today. Like
I
he's
think
trying different things out. Who knows?
it is important to understand every fan base. I don't think every fan base is as rabid as we are, or gets into the minutia like we do. But every fan base goes through ups and downs with their coach and has qualms with their coach. And once their coach fired, it doesn't, like there's Udoka's blown out Denver in Denver tonight. But man, I think he's only won 1 or 2 games on the road this season. All the wins on Houston have been at home, but then he came in there and changed the culture. So there's good and bad to look at from every coach. Tibbs' flaws, though, they're so great and they're so consistent that I really think that he is incapable of being a championship level coach, because every coach I've seen win a championship in my years watching ball has had the propensity to change and evolve, not just like series to series, but game to game. And I don't think Tibbs has that. And that really worries me when he goes up against a coach who does, like a Mike Malone or Ty Lue. That is going to be real, or even a Spo in these conference. It's very worrisome. And I don't think we should fire him now, but at some point I do believe we are going to have to upgrade. And what frustrates me so much is Twitter. There's no room for that type of nuance, an opinion like that gives him flowers in some regard, especially in terms of development. I'm a huge fan of him, and also criticizes him. I mean, those are pretty severe critiques. I'm saying we can't win a championship with Tibbs as coach. I'm saying that he has some of the biggest flaws in the NBA of all head coaches. He's also, in my opinion, probably first, second best coach in the East and a top 6-7 coach overall. But he is the last line of those boomer and older coaches with him and Pop that I think eventually going to be phased out. His mentality, his way of coaching, the lack of creativity. We're not going to see that for a very, very, very long time. So it's frustrating as hell, because I don't know if you had a different coach, if we're that much better. Maybe we could beat some good teams. Maybe we shoot more volume threes. Maybe we're more efficient, less ISO. But I don't think that the coach is out there that are available the same way I feel about a star. There's not one who's going to completely change the game. If Ty Lue is fired, quits LA, fire Tibbs, penguin ass, let's get Ty Lue on the sidelines for sure. But right now, it's like it is a stand at Gundy's and the David Fizdales that are out there to hire, or David Fizdale level coaches. Guys with no experience or shouldn't have an experience. I'm not ready to fire a coach to see what Johnny Bryan is. I'm just not, and I don't think Tibbs has done that bad of a job to fire him yet.
Yeah, I have a question to the panel. If this continues against the because I know, I'm not surprised that we lost to I'm not surprised that we lost to Milwaukee. Those are supposedly better teams than us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, it's just the way we lost, right? And how much they scored and how our defense seems to have regressed. If this continues, and this is what's supposed to be his specialty, you understand? Do we have to worry because this is what you're good at? Offense already is kind of a little struggle creativity wise, and this is supposed to be your wheelhouse. And right now we're not doing that well. If it continues, because again we're only on a 2 game losing streak, but it's been pretty bad, defensively.
What does continue mean for you? I mean, it's like
Like,
you are your record. You know what I mean?
mhm.
You are your record. So at this point, when you have these losses, I mean, but you still have enough wins where you're above 500, you're sixth in the East or whatever. Like it's an annoying thing in the moment, but you kind of just have to look at the collective information and make your decision off of that. So it's like, all right, this is a problem, right? So now it's time to get in coach mode. Is what do you do to change it now that it's still a problem? You know what I'm saying? Are you coaching harder? Are you making substitutions earlier? Like something would have to change. But it's like if we start to like slip under 500, 2 games, 3 games for it, and we get into these like losing streak type of situations, then you got to revisit it. But as of now, it's kind of too early for that. That's all.
Yeah, if it continues, then yeah, you definitely got to look into replacing the coach because you can't have the team underperforming, especially on the defensive end with a defensive coach, and think that you're going to keep this coach throughout the season and progress. And there comes a point in time, I think, where you have to look into pretty much every coach and see, okay, does it make sense to keep this coach and have him coach into the future, or do you make that switch? But at the moment, it's not the time to do it because, yeah, the Knicks lost to the Bucks, they lost to the Celtics, which are 2 teams on paper that are better than the Knicks. So the fact that you lost those teams, it's not that bad because those are the 2 better teams. It would have been worse if the Knicks were playing like this against Detroit
Right.
or the Spurs or somebody like that, where it's like, damn, like, you're giving up like 140 points to a bad team and you're losing terribly to those teams. But at the point we're at now, to me, Thibs hasn't done anything egregious for me to be like, you know what? Yeah, we need to look into Thibs and we have to critique him, heavily to the point where it's like now we have to look for a replacement. I agree with Lee as well. I don't think there's a coach out there at the moment where it's like, you know what, he's available. Let's fire Thibs and go after this coach. Like, I don't think there's any coach out there that's available at the moment that's gonna do that much of a better job than Thibs. And Thibs is one of the better coaches in the league. Does he do things that we don't agree with? Of course. He has a whole lot of flaws that, when we watch the games, we don't like, the heavy isolation ball, and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, he's one of the better coaches in the league, and we still have to, we can't look at small sample sizes and make decisions off of that. We have to look at, bigger sample sizes. And at the end of the day, the bigger sample size still says that Thibs does deserve to keep his job at the moment. But yeah, if it continues this way and the Knicks start dropping a lot of games and they start having a 500 record and under 500 record, and that's when you have to really look into it and be like, you know what? Is he the right man for the job or not? And then you make that change. But as of right now, I'm not pressing the panic button. Not now.
Well said.
Definitely, I agree. No panic button, but I tell you, soon if I see it continue, I'm gonna start whispering, y'all. I'm gonna start whispering. It's gonna be. We just had 5 teams.
Too funny.
Not now, though. Not now. Not now. I really hope that we can get it together. I sincerely think we make a lot of things more hard than we have to. One thing that I've noticed on defense that we're doing, everybody on defense, we're taking terrible angles on our closeout, and damn near just giving them the lane. If almost, you're supposed to push them to help, but not give them the lane. And they are giving them. It's almost like the bull with the matador. That's what they're doing. They're giving them literally the lane. So
It's
I
weird.
Yeah, we're not playing very smart basketball right now. I always remember what Anthony Edwards say. I keep saying it because it's stuck in my head. He always said New York, and I guess Minnesota heard what he said because they went and got him a bunch of defenders around him. He said when we beat them, I believe he said New York, they don't have good individual defenders, but they play great team
They
defense.
haven't in the last few games though.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. As much as we've been crying about the offense,
Yes.
we still ended up scoring crap load of points.
But
Go
but the
ahead,
way
And
our
Randall.
defense is right now, we gotta have. I don't even want to compare them, and I'm sorry I gotta do it, but they are the number one team in points. We gotta have a Pacers type of offense where they know they don't play defense. They just gonna try to outscore everybody.
yeah, but I do have a question for the panel because it just popped up to me right now because
Okay.
I'm looking at the team like today, like we say, like we're here saying that the Knicks have a terrible offensive system, right? But yet today, with the Knicks' terrible offensive system, they shot 50% from the
That's what
field,
I'm saying.
40% from three with this terrible offense. But here's my question though. Okay, say for example the Knicks fired Thibs, right? And they bring in a coach that has a different offensive philosophy that involves ball movement and off ball movement, making cuts to the basket and things of that nature, brings in a revolutionized offense. If you look at Jalen Brunson's game, Julius Randle's game, etc., these guys are iso ball players. So if you bring in a coach that is gonna, revolutionize the offense, do you think Brunson, Randle, and those guys can adjust to a style of offense where there's more ball movement and there's less isolation? Or do you think it's a case where it's like, you know what? The guys we have on this team are not really the type of players that are going to move the ball offense and things of that nature. So you might need to make changes to the roster and bring that coach players that actually fit into that system. So my question is, if the Knicks do make that move for a coach that revolutionized the offense, do you think Brunson, Randle, and those guys can adjust and play well in that type of offense, or do you think that we have to stick to a coach where it's like, you know what, they preach a more ball dominant offense where we see Julius Randle and Brunson and those guys operate more comfortably in?
That's a great question. That's a question that I like that question so much that none of us have ever thought about that. But that's a really great, unique point of view. I'm going to say no. I think Brunson and Randall are both heavy ISO players. I mean, the reason that Brunson is so successful in Dallas and in New York, those two teams under Jason Kidd and Tom Thibodeau, they were the top three in isolation plays, percentages, and points per possessions for the last 3 years. So I don't think Randall actually might have more of a chance to thrive in a ball movement system than Brunson. But Brunson is who he is because he is on ball so often. You saw it in FIBA. There were times where he really struggled to be more of a facilitator and to be able to dictate pace. So they put in Tyrese Halliburton to start instead, and the game completely changed with a lot of guys who need the ball, a lot of guys who are on ball. So I think that Brunson is perfect for the type of offense that Tibbs runs, and that's an issue in itself.
I thought that was a great question too, Ryan. I think you're seeing Brunson shooting pretty well so far from three, but again, it's early in the season and we don't know if he's gotten better or it's just a hot start. But if he continues to shoot the way he is, why not? I think use his presence as an offense. You understand when you have a shooter who can shoot the way Brunson has been this season, then you're going to command attention. And like today, if we had a coach who ran offense, a different type of more creativity in offense, then maybe he would have realized that Julius Randle was shooting well from outside, and instead of making him bully ball or try to get offense for himself, ran him off some screens and got him some easy looks. And it doesn't always have to be just screens and things of that nature. We don't get backdoor cuts. Julius Randle doesn't move after he passes the ball at all. Like this, just little stuff like that can help you get easier shots. We don't have to be the Harlem Globetrotters or Golden State Warrior type movement, but a little bit of progression, something to help get everybody to stay involved. I know again, people the big debate about what Pacers and rooting for the Pacers and things of that nature. One thing I can say about the Pacers is that they do move the ball, and Halliburton creates easier shots for everybody. That's
Yeah.
why it seems like everybody on the Pacers stock is up right now, right? They're not going to have issues getting rid of any of those players if to get more help if they need to. Because he looks, that's what we need. One of our stars have to be that way. They have to be selfless and able to get easier shots for their teammates. If not, everything's going to seem like a struggle, and it's just going to seem like they're doing their job and everybody around them is not.
Yeah. I say yes, only because it's funny. Well, for me, when I look at Brunson, I've seen instances where he'll go off. I feel like Brunson goes off when he feels like he needs to go off. There's two things I realize. He goes off when he needs to go off, and then when he doesn't trust you, he does not pass you the ball. Those are the two things I realize. And I keep going back to that Heat series because that sticks out. That Josh Hart being wide open at the top of the key and Brunson looking him off and going to the hole sticks out to me again and again and again. He got the ball. He either bricked it or did nothing with it. And then he was like, you know what? I'm taking it myself. So for me, I feel like Brunson can do it, but you better put some shooters around him, because if you don't put somebody who can make the shot around him, he's gonna be like Kobe. He's like practice this shot. Are you practicing your shot? It's like I feel like that's that situation for him. So I feel like he can. I feel like even Randall has that in him. What I'm more worried about Randall is, like you said, Ebony, moving without the ball, because he conserves energy so much, and maybe that's because he's playing 30, 40 minutes a game or whatever. But him moving without the ball, to me, makes it feel like if he passes the ball, then he might not fit in the system where he has to pass and move. I don't know. But I think they could. I just think they need to be instructed to do it.
I think I'm gonna keep saying it because we don't look good on paper. We don't have the players to do that certain thing with. We think we have. We think Brunson can be that. I'm not sure, too confident on putting the finishing role on Randall, because he hasn't shown us much in that role. The fourth quarter when you need a bucket, get a bucket. But I like us as a group. Like, if we can help, and it only help them, I don't understand why they don't do it more. If the first quarter, you're going to get your touches, you can get a basket whenever you want to. Why not get Dante and them a couple shots so that they can't cheat off of you? Kind of what you see with
Yeah.
with Boston. How you cheat a little bit. Derek White makes you pay. Al Horford makes you pay. And then now you don't know who to guard. You giving Derek White whole full layups because you don't want to leave Porzingis, or
I
you
agree.
giving Porzingis 3-pointers because you don't want to leave Tatum. That's what happens when you get everybody involved.
Right. And
When you don't do that, you playing into the defense's hand. I'm quick to say, let. So if I'm any other team playing us, I'm saying let Randall and Brunson be Randall and Brunson. They could have their 40 points, 30 points, but don't let nobody else get the points. You understand? Don't let nobody else join the party. And if they do that, they play right into the defensive hands. That's easy to guard.
And you know what? Jason Tatum, it's funny because you have your Halliburtons, right? You have Halliburtons, and you have your LeBrons, you have your Steve Nashes, whose first instinct is to pass the ball, right? And then you have Jason Tatum, who's a natural scorer. That team, Jason and Jaylen Brown, they fought for years over touches.
Yeah.
Years. Like, this year might be the first time where it seems like he's bringing it up. He's like, man, we need to move the ball more. And how long has he been the man there? You know what I mean? So it can happen, but sometimes it takes time, and sometimes the coaches because I feel like that's when Udoka Ime was there, and those guys were kind of hammering it home. Like, our guys need to be hammered that point home to the point where the coaches didn't have to mention anymore. Just like everybody, they repeat the things that coaches say about the defense and all that stuff. Like, it sounds like they're regurgitating all the tips, coach. They have to regurgitate that too. Move the ball. The ball will find energy, and like the ball will come back. They need to restart to regurgitate that stuff too as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Tibbs always
Yeah.
talk about rhythm, but he need to get it into his stars. At least get 2 or 3 passes before y'all trying to pull up.
That's a
Or
fact.
if you're gonna pull up, at least let somebody be down there to be able to rebound.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have you shooting and our center didn't cross half court yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and my opinion, I do think that Randall and Brunson can adjust if they do bring in a coach that revolutionize the offense, but it's going to be growing pains. Like if people think that another coach can come in with a different offense, I think these guys are just going to adjust their game
No,
off
it's
the
gonna be
fly.
growing pains.
Nah, it's not. Like there's going to be some major growing pains, but I think what you said, Jales, is true. Like if the coach knocks it into the head over and over again and you know and tells them like you cannot just run isolation all the time and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You have to pass the ball. You have to move the ball and this and that. I think those guys can adjust over a time period to play that style of ball. And honestly, ISO ball, I think what people don't realize is that there's really not an issue with ISO ball, really. You know, like if you really look at these games, especially in late and fourth quarters, a lot of ISO ball is played. They put the ball in the hands of their best players, and then the best players make the move. Either they create a shot for themselves or create a shot for others. What really matters with isolation ball is the player that has the ball in his hands. How good is his IQ?
Yep.
You know, like, does he make the right decisions when the ball is in his hands in clutch moments? And that's really the issue. So if you have players that when that are isolation players and they have the ball in their hands in clutch moments and they can't make the right decision, I don't care what kind of offense you run, your team is not going to be successful. But if you have a guy on your team that in isolation, plays where he knows what to do with the ball, whether it's to create his own shot or create a shot for others, your team will be successful.
I agree.
So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, ball movement and all that stuff is great, but if you really examine games and especially late moments in games, isolation ball is heavy in those moments of the game.
It definitely
If you
is.
really examine these games,
I argue that, and people call me crazy when I say that, but it's true. It's like when you look at the teams who move the ball, end of the game, Seth has the ball. But at least throughout the game, everybody's getting a touch.
Yes.
Everybody's loose, everybody's in rhythm. No one's, it's not Grimes taking 3 shots for the game. And now if you double or triple team Curry, you can kick it out. And now I'm loose enough to hit that corner 3 now that I've gotten into some type of rhythm. And that's really one of the next steps of their maturation process is, hey, if I can get mine whenever I want, get everybody else the ball.
One of them has to make the others better. One of them has to get everybody involved. When you look at the winners, when you look at teams that have won the championship the last couple of years, they've all had a star or even gotten to the finals. They've all had a star that got others involved, that got, they're bridge the people together. They're willing to give somebody else the last shot if they're open. They're not passing. I say it all the time. Julius Randle never goes to drive with the intention to me to pass. I think Boston. I was watching a little bit of Boston's on Boston announcers, and they mentioned it about Julius. Julius is not looking to pass. He's trying to shoot through double teams.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they were mentioning. So it's not a secret. People know that they're going to gun. He's going to get his shots.
And it's funny because Randall will go through these lapses where he's so unselfish and he's giving people pep talks and he's like, "Here, Mitch, post up right now. You've been doing good." Like he'll go through these stretches where he looks like the ultimate team player, and you're like, "Wow!" And then he'll just like not pass for a game. It's like I feel like he has it. I feel it's. I don't know, man. It's an enigma. I don't
Somebody
know.
asks, why does Randall have to get all the assists? The person with the ball the most should get the assist.
Yep.
And if you don't have the ball, you can't get assists.
Yeah.
That's just it. If you're going to have the ball majority of the time, you have to make others get easier shots. If not, keep the ball moving. Maybe you get an easy shot. But the whole trying to dribble through people today didn't work, and he didn't have a plan B. He didn't really try to go. The plan B that he did go to, which was shoot, he did shoot well for a period of the time. He was 3 for 3, from downtown.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't really. Then he took one more and missed, and that was like it. He stopped taking them. So I don't know.
He liked that.
I would like to see what you said. Sorry.
No, he liked that Drew Holiday matchup. I can't believe I can't believe they're getting away with playing Drew Holiday on Randall one-on-one.
And every time I say this, the time Randall gonna go kill, and every time it's not. Every time I'm like, he gonna kill this time. He gonna kill this time. He playing bully ball. He gonna go right through Drew. No way in the world Drew gonna be able to. And then I look like
Yeah. Hold on, let me get the plus these shots. Shout out to Nev the Disruptor, who sends a $20 super chat. He says the first thing you must determine is, can ISO ball win you a title? And when was the last ISO team that won a title? If the answer is no, and it has been a while, then you have to change the coach and the offensive scheme.
Agreed.
Also, shouts out to No Hesitation Hart. I need him to take more no hesitation shots today. He did hesitate one time and almost caused a turnover. Right. So don't do that no more, Josh. Just let it fly. Just let it fly.
But the funny part is having pump fake and driving kick Hart next to Grimes is exactly what Grimes needed.
Facts.
Because Hart don't want to shoot. Grimes wants to shoot more. It was like the perfect marriage. He's like, I'm gonna pump fake and give it to Grimes, and Grimes is gonna put it up. And Grimes was happy. He had 10 shots. He had the most shots he's had. Maybe the second most shots he's had all season. Scored 13 points. Look at that.
Creating shots. He looked real comfortable there. And folks that asked for some fight for Grimes, I think that was fight. He spoke out and performed. He came through. So that shows a little fight right there to me. That's just me though.
Yeah, it's funny. I do not like players talking to the media. I rather have that in house, personally. But every now and again, some mess gets things in the right direction. Sometimes, it may be. The benching, like I said before, I don't know if you saw you guys seen the video, but I pretty much was like, I am terrified of the starting 5 defense. And like I said before, Drew Holiday and Derek White. Derek White scores 15 points a game. He scored 30. I'm still terrified of that starting 5 defense because of that. But for at least the short term, I already know that Grimes offensively is going to be better, but because he's going to be playing with that second unit. And offensively, DiVincenzo might be better because he shot hunts a little more. But defensively, I don't know.
I had to agree. I thought that Dante would be okay in the starting lineup. He's still not going to get a lot of touches, but he relocates. So they'll be able to better than Grimes, like his lineup to show that, hey, I'm open. It's better than Grimes. So I thought maybe he would be used better as an emergency exit, because when Randall got to jump and need somebody to throw, he's pretty a good target to come cut like Josh Hart does.
Right.
They're similar. So that was something I thought they would do, and with Grimes he'll just have the freedom. But like you said, the defense. The difference between the defense to me is that Dante is more of a off-ball defender, more of a risk taker, play the lanes type of play, and not so much a defend. He's a good defender. He'll give you his all, but not as good a defender one-on-one position-wise as Grimes is. If that makes sense.
Totally agree. Just the Derek White stat line.
Yeah. So yeah, and Derek White went nutty. You would have thought he had no fear. He had no fear of us today. He barbecue chicken anybody that was in front of him.
Derek White has a superstar mentality and heart in a role player's body.
He does. He does.
Straight up. I was watching the game tonight with a very good friend of mine from Australia. He plays semi-professional ball down there and coached down there as well. Comes from a long lineage of ball players. And I was at his house. He took a delicious Lebanese dinner. Had a great time. This is his first game watching the Knicks this season. he bought NBA Pass and just invited me over and we watched the Knicks together. And he knows play calling a lot better than I do. And he had 3 takeaways, very simple takeaways that I wanted to share on his first watch with the Knicks.
Oh, cool.
First, he said us, and you guys don't agree with all of this. They're very simple. He was like, you guys are way too small on the perimeter. Obviously.
Word.
Yes. Any team with a dude who can shoot over 6'5" is going to get a shot off without very little defense in terms of hand to face or obstruction. He also said, you guys don't move off ball at all. Like when there's isolation, we might have guys.
Also, yes.
Yes. We might have guys who can realign and get open better for that kick out pass with 3 seconds left on the clock. But there's no one's really setting screens for each other off ball. There's a little bit of that. I think I saw Mitch do a little bit of that today, but he was only in the game for the first half, so that didn't continue very much. And the third thing he said was, you guys are playing way too much drop coverage. And it was the first time I really thought about like drop coverage since the conversation where
last year we had a whole argument over it. Remember, Lee?
We did. I had thought about it with the season because we've actually been a lot better. This game was some of the worst drop coverage, and it was across the board. It was everybody from Brunson on down to Mitch. I think everyone was having difficulty, not just difficulty, but bad decision making on hedging on that drop coverage. And those are 3 things I think can be easily addressed by the coaching staff in terms of off ball and drop, and the size can be solved by Leon Rose before the trade deadline, just making a simple 2 second rounders, 1 protected first round, the Dallas pick, the Detroit pick, the Milwaukee pick, and an assortment of players. Maybe it's Grimes, maybe it's someone else to package and bring in some height. So I think all 3 things are very solvable. If we solved all 3 of those things, then I agree with Zach Lowe. Possibly everything falls in line, maybe at conference finals.
We'll see.
We'll see. Try to remain optimistic.
I feel you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the house is not on fire. Don't fire nobody. But those are 3 easy things that the first time Knicks watcher this season saw, and I thought all 3 were very addressable.
Yes, I think he was on point too. Again, these are 2 teams that were better than us. Everybody said, on paper, everywhere else. So, it's not shocking again that we lost. It's just our defense is a little shocking.
Our defense
it's
is
the
bad.
second game in a row that we let 6 players score double figures. In the Milwaukee game, it was almost 8. They had 2 people at 9. So we got to tighten ship up, and we can't allow a shooters league to just shoot at will. This is what people are practicing now. They're not practicing much else. This is what they're gonna get. They want to shoot from threes, and people are shooting from further distance now, and we're just giving teams 3-pointers.
Yeah, I was looking at Brunson in the paint one of these plays, and I'm looking. I'm like, yo, how in the hell are you even supposed to recover to the corner from where you are?
Deep.
Like, it doesn't even seem humanly possible.
Yeah.
It's not. And he's been getting caught like that a lot, and people are hitting that shot over him.
And it's usually Brunson.
So big anyway.
It's usually Brunson. At least for the last 2 games, anyway, it's been Brunson.
Malik Beasley, last game, kind of punk. I want to say punk, but he was really physical with him, and Brunson didn't really respond the way I thought he would have.
Yeah, Brunson got abused today by Drew Holiday.
And then and it was kind of the same today exactly on both ends. He didn't have a great offensive game. They looked like they may have bother him. What happened?
Every time I look, I'm like, yo, Brunson's game offensively was not good. And I look up, and he shot 47% from the field.
Yeah.
It
was because
how does he do that? Like, today it looked horrible. And I look at his numbers, and it's like, actually not a bad percentage. But he shot over 5 from 3. I think.
Yes.
He know what it is. I'm used to him hitting big momentum shots, and I'm used to him being very reliable in these big games versus the big teams. And this is like the first time in a back-to-back type of game situation where I felt like he wasn't the Titan that he was last season in these big important games. And even though he wasn't horrible offensively, when I take like a step back, like I'm just not used to. I'm not used to this. Yeah, it's weird. Super weird. I think we talked about this game today. I think we talked about this game today. But I can tell I can see like the conversation retention stuff on here. So it looks like everybody's into it. They enjoyed the conversation. I'll just say that. Based on the retention. But shout out to everybody in the chat.
I knew we don't have it in the chat.
Yeah, definitely had a good chat today. Shout out to Nick Yak says 2 for 5 threes for Brunson's game would be called great. Yeah. If he hit his threes, it would be a great game. But he missed a lot of open threes.
And I need him to not go under screens when you know that somebody is shooting.
Yeah.
If Derek White is not missing, you do not go under the screen.
Do not.
Dude, that's not it.
Do not.
We just got to play smarter. IQ, I don't know. They got to stay in the film room at all of them. Just watch a bunch of film all the time, because we don't make the easier decisions. We make it really hard for ourselves, harder than it has to. We'll miss the easy pass and try some new fancy one and almost get a turnover.
Right.
So I don't know.
Then you see quickly get burnt also.
Yeah. I mentioned, I think I mentioned earlier a little bit about quickly last couple of games. The angles he's taking, I want to say, are not being the best. He was one of the trio, I want to call it, people that was getting blown by pause. Traffic Coney, you know, he was one of them.
Yeah.
No, not even a little hezzy, nothing. It was just straight first step. See ya quickly. See, I'm out of here. So I don't know what's going on with our defense, but I think two good teams. This is what the good teams will do to make you question yourself.
Yeah, make you question your whole existence. Nah, for real.
So I'm not going to overreact too much, but because again, it's only the 21 game. But how long can we keep saying that as an excuse? Is getting the deadline coming up soon, I guess.
Yeah, we got to figure out a way to play these guys stretch fives, like I said before. Stretch fives, Mitch out the paint. So it's like them, like Bucks stretch five, Celtics 2 stretch fives, which means I'm looking at the Pacers. I'm worried about them for sure.
I ain't worried about these. Mitch does pretty well against Miles Turner most of the time.
I hear you. I'm just looking at the trend that's happening. They just beat the Celtics. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it 100.
You know,
do not sign into Twitter the day the Knicks play the Pacers, because it's going to be a bloodbath. If Tyrese Halliburton and Obi have a good game that day, it's going to be a bloodbath. I'm telling you right
now. The key to beating the Pacers is make Halliburton be a scorer.
But that's the thing. Halliburton's been scoring more. That's the thing.
But he's scoring, also getting his people involved.
Mm-hmm.
The key is just to let him be the scorer, kind of like the way we play LaMelo. You have to play Halliburton like that. Their strength is getting everybody else involved, so you can't guard them one-on-one. Then they can get into their bags, you know.
Halliburton got better.
Yes, but if
he's hitting those little floaters now,
what I'm saying is one person can't beat 15. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. One person can't beat 15. Now, if you let that one person get the whole team involved, then that's a different story. And top of him busting your behind, you know how that goes. So you got to stop either or.
You gotta stop. Well, I'm telling you right now, brace yourselves for the bloodbath. All right.
I do want to mention one thing though, and just because you brought it up, you see, this is what I don't like about some of the people in the Knicks fan base, because they always like to look at players who the Knicks traded away, see how they're doing on different teams, and then when they see them doing good on different teams, you know, they all of a sudden want to get mad, like, why did we trade this player? Why did we trade that player? And this and that. The front office don't know what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sometimes I don't understand why Knicks players can't just be happy for that player in a different situation and thriving in a different situation. Because it's like, Obi Toppin here in New York, it wasn't going to work. It was just unfortunate for him that Julius Randle ended up being all-NBA and an all-star player, and he barely got any minutes on top of that. And then on top of that, if you look at the style of ball the Knicks play, the Knicks play slow it down, half court, defensive style of ball. Obi's skill set does not match that style of basketball. But in Indiana, they play. But in Indiana, they play up tempo, fast basketball where Obi's able to run up and down the court and get easy shots and things of that nature. He fits better in Indiana style of offense than he did in New York. So it's like, why can't you just be happy that the dude is thriving in a different system and just accept the fact that the way things were set up in New York, he just wasn't going to thrive here.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah. Sorry.
it just is what it is, man. That's how they are. I've accepted it.
I'm loving them for the distance, but two things could be true. I'm gonna love them for the distance and still be upset or angry that they're not here, because exactly what they're providing for their new team, we can definitely use. The second unit, we tried to make again. This is what my gripe against Tibbs. Instead of using your player's strength and incorporating in your system, where you have a bully ball player like Brandu, now you have the faster outlet kind of power forward. It's two different looks. Instead of embracing that and maybe using that, he just coaches everybody the same and put Obi in the corner. So I don't know what Obi pick and rolls look like.
Yeah,
because we never did those, and that probably would have helped Obi and us. And the second unit kind of, moves. They look to push in transition. We could have used Obi in there too in that backup power forward position. So that's the only issues I have with the whole thing. Other than that, I'm wishing well on his journey. I will never root for his team, but I want him to do well.
that's a fact. I want to destroy them.
Yeah, and the same thing goes for Cam. He's 6'8", right? Cam 6'8". Playing defense.
Roughly 6'7", 6'8", roughly.
And it's not a surprise because Thibodeau out his own mouth said how great of a defender he was. So, that's the frustrating, the trolling part. He did, Ryan. Remember that? After Golden State Warriors, out of Tibbs' mouth, he told us how good of a defender Cam was. So for him,
when he tries, but he didn't play consistent defense in New York. He definitely did not.
No, when he did, no, I can't. When he did play, he was defending. They were using him as a defender. When who else that got injured? Grimes or whoever got injured during that stretch, he was defending.
I explained.
He was consistent though.
Here, this is. I don't even want to get into this conversation about Obi and Cam.
Nah, I'm done. I just realized about them. To be honest, I'm just upset that we didn't get more, and that what they're looking for, what we trying to replace, we kind of got rid of. It's weird.
Cam was raw. Cam gave you effort at the beginning, at least, but he did not know where to be. He wasn't in the right spot. He wasn't in the right spots. That's really what he was. So he got a lot of steals, gambling, and effort. He made mistakes, but he would hustle back. But he wasn't always in the right position. So that's the thing that we got with Cam. Like, he actually played. I thought he played Tatum the best when he was here, 1-on-1. But then, like I said,
I think we set him up.
Yeah, but then Grimes didn't have the physical catch that Cam had, but Grimes was in the right spot 9 times out of 10, and that's why defensively we were a little more sound with Grimes over Cam, even though Cam had the physical gifts. But I didn't want to get into that conversation.
I don't like how Cam and Obi are packaged together as like, oh, I miss these guys. I miss Obi. I don't miss Cam Reddish at all. Cam Reddish is not playing that great in LA. He'll have like one game, and everyone forgets about the 5 terrible games that he had prior. Like, Cam had 9 points, shot 50% from the field last game for the Lakers. Solid. Game before that, 0 for 4. Like, let's not act like Cam Reddish was the missing piece that we need. We need a better player than Cam Reddish as our big 6'8" player. Now, Obi Toppin for 2 second-round picks. I hate that trade. I hate that waste of talent. I hate everything about from the moment he was drafted to how he was traded, how he was handled the whole time he was here, stuck in the corner shooting threes. Like, disgrace. But Cam Reddish, he didn't go. I wish him well. I mean, I wish Elfrid Payton well. even though he's not well. I wish him well. But
Yeah, but see, what I'm saying is, for a cheap plug, he would have did well, but he's getting paid. We don't need him to be Michael Jordan. We just need him to guard Tatum and the KDs. Can you do that for us, Kim? You understand? Like
I think
but
that's
we
it.
wouldn't even give him a chance. That's what I'm saying. We didn't put him in the right position. It's okay. Two
Yeah.
games can be true. He didn't do much here, but I could honestly say that we didn't help him try to do anything either.
We back in 2022.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's the ghost. That's
at
the
the end of the
ghost. But
day,
yeah, that was a big debate on social media. The
at the end,
OBs and the Brunson Halley
I'm over
conversation.
arguing over them. Come on.
I mean,
Yeah,
Oh, we got somebody in the chat too.
at the end of the day, for me, it's like neither player would have been a transcendent player for the Knicks. So it's like for me, it's like even if the Knicks retained them, it's not like the Knicks would have been a championship caliber team. So for me, it's like I don't understand why people are just so crazy over them. I'm like, neither player would have got the Knicks to a championship. Like it would have been nice to keep them, but neither player's transcended. Like neither player's going to get the Knicks to the next level. So I'm like, I don't understand it. I just don't.
I don't either.
I get it from both sides. I really do. It's like now we're trying to fill that role, and we might have to give up more than we want to do it, when we could have just maybe plugged it for a little while. You understand? Like that's where I'm coming from. It wasn't a big role. Maybe had embraced him or try to play towards his strength. Well, I don't think it was, and we didn't get much from him. So what would have been the issue to hold on to him? That seemed a little personal, and maybe like it might have the relationship might have soured. They had to move on from him to eliminate problems that may have progressed.
I'm so over the Cam talking.
Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done with it too, where they keep throwing it in the face, both sides, positive and negative. Just wish the people good on their journeys and love them from a distance like I do.
That's why I'm just muting positive, negative.
Yeah, I call it team sensible, because you got to be in the middle.
Team sensible.
Sometimes I
bro.
agree with toxic, sometimes I agree with positive. But to me, what I can agree with both of them is that they're extreme. Both of
Yeah,
them.
you can't not be positive. It's impossible to be positive or negative all the time. So it's like you paint yourself in a corner when you name yourself positive or negative.
I say they watch the game with rose-colored glasses.
You paint yourself in a corner. You're like you put yourself in positions to always be a liar when you're always picking one side.
Yes.
So I don't know. That's just me. What do I know? I don't know. I could. But we got a caller, guys. We got a caller.
Oh yeah.
We got Ron from Baltimore coming in the chat. Coming in. Wait, do I have my joint on? Hold on. Yes, I do.
Somebody said Obi got duck feet.
What's happening? I can't. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. There we go. All right, Ron from Baltimore. Do you hear us?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on, Ron? Good to hear you, man.
I'm just depressed, man.
Oh,
Depressed. I needed to call in.
Why are you depressed, man?
Why did he take RJ out? When we cut it to 7, like, why? I don't understand. Like, IQ, RJ, Grimes, Hart, and Hartenstein, I thought they were flowing for a couple minutes there and cut that thing. And look, defensively, I'm not saying they were great either, but they were at least trying to close out. Like, I don't understand pulling RJ. Like, Brunson didn't have it tonight, so I kind of understand why you want Brunson back. Like, obviously Brunson's our guy, but like, why bring Randall back in? Did you guys? I had a problem with that. Like, I don't like. To me, we were flowing a little bit, and I'm happy for Grimes. Like, I don't think this is getting talked about enough. Like, I blame Grimes for the lack of aggression when he caught it in the starting lineup at times, when he throws it back to Randall. Like, I think Grimes does deserve some blame, but I'm of the opinion it was not all of Grimes' fault. Like, as much as I love Jalen Brunson, he deserves to hog the ball because he's so great as a scorer. Like I'll give Brunson that, but he needs to get better with the passing.
Mhm.
I don't think it's hard to get rhythm with Randall because at least Brunson, when he makes his moves, when Brunson ISOs, Brunson at least is quick with the ISO. Okay, so like Randall is not quick with the ISO. Like I know he's trying, and I've learned to just live with it. It's a love-hate thing. It's always going to be like that. But like Randall tonight, he's just too slow with the moves. It's hard to get rhythm with him, and when he gets rid of the ball, it's not on target to guys. Like they have to like catch for it, and like I like the nickname for Josh Hart that you one of your panel members gave him. I agree with it. Like he saves us out of trouble. I'm just frustrated. Like I get it, the defense is the problem. Like we're giving up way too many points, and we'll get back to that. But like I don't think people are talking enough about how Grimes didn't get rhythm. It's some of that falls on the players that he was playing with.
Yeah. So
That's all I wanted to say. I'm frustrated, but
listen, man, you welcome. First of all, thank you for the call.
no problem.
I feel like
Thank you.
everybody on
He's
this
a therapist with me.
I feel like everybody on this panel have said some version of what you said tonight or even throughout this season. We've talked about the notion that Grimes isn't touching the ball enough. We've also touched on the notion that Grimes is not aggressive. And it is partially both reasons. Like today was a great example. Dante DiVincenzo had 6 shots today. Grimes had 10.
Right. But like also like do you guys agree like I'm not saying Mitch is ever going to be great like offensively too. Like I get that, but like I don't know, like I enjoy and Quickly is not the greatest passer either, but he tries. But like when the ball flows, I don't know, I feel like Mitch could do more if we just find him more. Like it just I think Mitch gets a bad rap too, but like we're just asking him to do basic stuff. So like I think Brunson is trying. He's trying to get better at the point guard stuff. But I at least respect Brunson like when he does the ISOs because he goes quick with it, and you can always win with a guy like Brunson if he gets the right help. I just don't think we have a good enough ball movers quicker with the Randall thing. RJ, I think you can win with RJ, but we need somebody else in here. And I hate to say it because I don't want to pile on Randall. I just don't think he's the answer. But I get it. We played the 2 best teams, and I'm mad right now. But that's all I got. I don't want to take the whole shot. I'm just impressed. But I'll continue to listen to you guys.
I hear you.
Great call.
Appreciate you, man. Great call.
Yeah.
Great call. I like the point about the differences in ISO between Randall and Brunson, where Brunson moves the ball. He makes the moves a lot quicker than Randall does. And it puts more pressure on the shooters and the offense to get going when you're taking up like 10 seconds an ISO and then moving the ball later. I really like that point. But yeah, good call. Good call.
Yeah. And I see Adam Silver's catching strays in the chat.
That's my type of talk. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. I want to potentially be in the NBA, I guess, right? In media. And I'm sorry.
I'll say Adam Silver's a bum.
I didn't mean that a lot.
Man.
I didn't mean that a lot. I'm fibbing. I didn't mean it a lot. I can't even
You're a liar.
I don't.
You're a liar.
I think he's more for entertainment value. And doesn't protect the integrity of the actual quality of game.
100%.
I noticed that when you took out the take foul because people said, imagine the dunks we can get. That's a smart defensive play. Why would I give you an open dunk? How are you going to penalize me for a smart defensive play because you want to see flashy dunks? That's not basketball.
That man suspended Kyrie Irving, but yet Miles Bridges out here dunking the basketball for the Charlotte Bobcats. Yes. Nah, bro.
And Josh Giggity is still practicing and playing.
Still playing all of his games.
Adam Silver can go.
But yeah, good call. Adam Silver caught some strays out of nowhere.
I want to say about the random tips. Seemed like every time we go on a run, he has to put in random. It's been like that for a while now. Every time we seem to come back or try to come from a run, it's like, oh, it's random time. It's
Yeah,
random
yeah.
time now.
Yeah, I think we should just close with the second unit. That's what I think. For sure. And for sure, Mitch needs to be more offensive minded, but in reality, he does not get the ball. He does not get the lobs enough. Right. Brunson does not. Brunson, he's not good at throwing lobs. It's just not his. That's not his ministry. Right? He needs help.
Yeah.
Another thing. Adam Silver said he a Knicks fan, but I can't tell by the schedule.
Yo,
I mean,
that is a hold on. That is a great comment.
It is. It really is.
That is a great comment. Can we, man? I'm trying to end the show and get to the bruh picks, but
and you know another thing too, it's kind of amazing because he is a Knicks fan, but yet one of these drives he could have given us a damn number one pick. He could have rigged it off.
That's a
Now he
fact.
keep changing rules on us, Brian.
You know what it is? You know when you overcompensate, like the dad is the coach and he's coaching his son and he's like, oh, he's gonna give him favoritism, and he's just like harder on him and he makes him run more. I feel like that's what he's doing. He's like, I love the Knicks, but you can never know. He's like, you're gonna play the Celtics 5 times and so the Bucks. It's like, and you're gonna play the first 3 months all on the road. It's like, come on.
And if it's not back to back, it's gonna be back to back games. If not back to back days, it's gonna be back to back games. So you're gonna play Milwaukee. Then I'm gonna give you some days off so they don't think it's I'm picking on them. And then here you go, Boston, right?
Bam. Damn, Adam. Like, really? Gee. Whew. All right, man.
It's all right.
Yo,
It's all right. That just means we're gonna have a weaker schedule at the end.
Yeah, we're gonna be running them off. 10, 20 in a row. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Get these back
all home games against bottom feeders in the last 2 months. Oh man. All right. Any bro picks today? Any bro picks?
Well,
might as well have did Adam Silver. Nah, go ahead, Ryan. I know you got.
I'm gonna introduce him for the new people. If you have someone to introduce it, because I don't know who's new, who's not. Is Matt? I don't know who. If y'all, man, it's 50. Y'all love talking. Hold on, shout out first of all, before we even get to this, shout out to the chat because y'all holding it down. All right. There's 50 y'all in the chat, and it's past midnight on a Friday. And y'all talking basketball at the KOT show. So after a loss, all right. So
let's go.
Kudos to everybody in the chat. Fritz, Nick Yak, Gamer Channel, Picks for Timmy. Shout out to Knicks R NYC CAA affiliate. Shout out to you. Always shows me love in different chats I be in. Cameron Goldberg, East Blue Drew, Manchild. Everybody. I don't know if I missed anybody. If I missed anybody. Deras, Nick Yak, everybody in the chat who's rocking with us. I appreciate all you guys. Glamour, I see you, Glamour, in the chat. Shout out to all you guys. All right.
Yes, I do have a bro though.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain to the people, just in case. If you're new, if you don't know, there's a tradition here on the KOT show called the Bruh Picks. Bruh Picks are. Bruh Picks are. I'm laughing at Fritz's chat. The Bruh Picks are the worst plays of the day in basketball, or it doesn't have to be that. It can be the worst plays of the week. It could be the Knicks game. It could be any other game. Also, it doesn't even have to be basketball related. It can be anything stupid, anything dumb that you want to call out, and you explain what happens, and we hit that button. All right, those are the Bruh Picks. Cool. Ryan G.
Well, I'll say this. Rich pretty much stole my bruh because he mentioned it in the chat.
Oh my God.
My bruh goes to Zion and the Pelicans because a report came out earlier today where the Pelicans were telling Zion, watch your weight. And he does not listen. And that is what the report said. So my man is down here in New Orleans eating all the gumbo, all the jambalaya,
all the thoughts,
all the Cajun food, all the po' boys. And my man is not staying in shape to perform great for the Pelicans.
Did y'all see him bring the ball up the other night? Someone said it looked like he had taken a shit.
Hold on. Hold
Looked
on
like
a
he was wearing a
second.
diaper, bro.
I got you, Cup. Hold on, guys. Sorry, this is old. I did not expect to.
He looked like me running to the bathroom after I had 3 cups of coffee. I was like, oh shit.
I know exactly what video y'all talking about.
Zion, bro.
I'm trying.
My man looks stuffed. You know, when you finish eating, he look like that all the time.
Stuffed on fries and thoughts.
Oh man.
Oh, shit.
you know they have a weight clause in his contract.
On the Supermax extension?
Yeah, like there's in his contract that he can't get paid a certain amount, or he will, like a bonus if he, you know, watches his weight, keeps his weight at a certain weight. I didn't know they could do that.
Oh yeah, you can put anything in a
little,
contract.
yeah, I see.
Hold on,
Yo,
here
y'all
we go.
think y'all think Zion trying to eat
Here
his
we
way out
go.
of New Orleans?
I think so, and
My
he trying to
man-
get that value down.
Look at my
Oh
man
my
Waddle.
God, that baby stuff.
Look at my man Waddle. He is Charles Barkley
Yeah.
in the making. Right
Charles Barkley now.
It's not even what
My man looking like, I'm gonna get there.
It's not
I'ma
even
get
when
there
the
when I
rebound
get there.
was in shape though.
Better than
Like
Chiefs
not
in
even
here.
in his playing days. He looked like Charles Barkley today.
Yeah.
Right.
He
On the
just
court.
I think he in the wrong city. Any New Orleans is you got to be a strong soul to say no to that fool.
Say no to everything. It's all the sins in New
Yo.
Orleans.
Facts.
I'm
He in
flashing
the
back.
playground. He in the wrong playground.
Man. He has to be careful because he can really shorten his career.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a lot of people who were saying, I'll give everything for Zion Wilson. And oh, you'll be crazy if you didn't trade for Zion. And I'm sitting here like, man, listen, that part of you that wants it, that works hard, that goes to the gym, that's disciplined, you know, that part of you is sometimes it's in you from birth, sometimes it can be learned, and sometimes it's just not in you. When it comes to Zion Williamson, I'm not sure where he is in the spectrum of that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's in the spectrum. But so for me, I would proceed with caution in any Zion talks because I don't really know what his heart is and what his dedication level is.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the way he's looking right now, those thoughts are still remain. Those thoughts to me are still true. I would be, and as much as frustrating as Randall is, there's one thing that Randall is not. He's not fat. All right, that man Randall stays in the gym. He's going to be in shape. If anything, he might be worked too hard.
Yeah, I think Zion. I don't know. He's kind of giving me what I think of Wiggins, and I know Wiggins kind of made me change my tune when he went to Golden State. But I've always thought that Wiggins' heart wasn't in it, and I'm starting to think that maybe Zion's heart is not in basketball itself. You know, that you can't keep, because I don't understand. When he came back, he looked like he was well into shape. What did you do? You're playing basketball. How did you get out of shape playing basketball? What are you doing?
Them soda cans are crazy. Remember when he was
I'm
the
so
stripper?
confused.
The stripper, my bad. I didn't mean to say stripper. Prostitute. No, it was a porn star. Porn
Porn
right?
stars. He
Yeah.
like the porn
I'm mixing up
stars.
my sex workers. My bad. Yeah.
Oh, boy, my man
I
got
got
stay away from the Popeyes chicken.
Yeah. He
Oh,
couldn't
Nah,
stay away from the soda.
he ain't eating Popeyes. He eating the real deal in New
Exactly,
Orleans.
Louisiana.
Yes, the over there, like they say they like the seasonings have season. They don't
Yeah.
play about food over there.
Mhm.
It's
Zion
one of
don't
my
play
favorite
either.
food cities.
Me too.
Yeah, so he needs to be
Definitely.
careful. And I don't blame you if you're looking at Zion and you're proceeding with caution in your mind about
Yeah.
trades for him. That's just me.
Yeah, right now to me, Ingram is more like I would more want Ingram right now than Zion. Like Zion has to prove to me that he can at least stay in shape and keep his weight in check for me to really want to go after Zion.
That's a fact. Absolute fact.
I got a bruh pick
Oh, what you got?
It kind I probably meant to probably do it last game, but it's not nobody Knicks, but it is basketball. The Celtics and Brad Stevens for their gluttonous, talking about they gonna look to move in the trade deadline. For what?
Move
What
what?
you
What
Wow.
what do you
Really?
need?
gluttonous. Yeah, I'm gonna read the report. That's just greedy. The basketball gods should not bless them. They being gluttonous. That's how that go. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now what the exact report was.
They're
'Cause
gonna
I
pay somebody
posted
the low mid-level, not even mid-level, not really
it.
mid-level.
From Sham's mouth. It says they expect the Celtics to be active in trade market as we get closer to February.
Oh
So
my
they
gosh.
still looking to make moves.
Wow.
That to me that's crazy. You might make one move and mess up your whole chemistry. Look at the Clippers. I'm gonna keep saying that.
Wait, Ebony, if that's the case, let's hope they do it.
Yeah.
They mess up the
Mess it
chemistry.
up.
Let's
Well,
hope they do
well,
it.
they
Derek White messed up
deserve
that
it.
chemistry, you know
They
what I
will
mean?
deserve it.
Derek was
That's just crazy. I wouldn't mess with that team.
trade you Evan Fournier for Derek White.
We'll take it, yeah, right?
Facts.
Somebody needs to take Evan Fournier. What about Golden State? They don't need another. They need another shooter.
Yeah.
How about you give us one of your youth?
Exactly.
Well, Kuminga is playing
Fournier.
again.
I'll take
Yeah, but he's
Kuminga.
playing again. He had a good game, so he might have played his way back into the rotation.
He did.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a bruh pick.
Okay.
What you got?
My bruh pick is on Tom Thibodeau. The spit fat L is 100% on you, bro. And I've given you a lot of props this season, but you choked this one away. You've been choking important games away. You've been choking national televised games away. And if Jalen Brunson's out for an extended amount of time, bruh, it's a bruh in all caps. If you had your starters out there and you risked injury with 20 seconds left in the game, that was a really stupid decision making on his part. And we've seen him do it before. I mean, the ghost, the specter of Derrick Rose was in full effect with Jalen Brunson out there, possibly injuring his leg. I'm not going to say what I hope it isn't, but knock on wood, it's a minor injury and he's back in action. I also want to start a new segment. I read a lot, and I want to share the books that I read with y'all on good recommendations because I got a doozy today, man. I'm going to start this off the right way. All right. I got Black Paper, Teju Cole. My man is a Guggenheim fellow. He's a professor at Harvard. He's one of the smartest people in the United States. African-American writer, he's a curator, he's an artist, he's a thinker, and he's probably the best essayist right now in the United States. My man's won a ton of awards. Open City was his first novel, came out 3 years ago. He just came out with a book of essays on the color Black, and the color Black specifically in contemporary art, but most importantly, Blackness in America, and also importantly, Blackness in the political spectrum, and how the African-American community has been overlooked, bamboozled, hoodwinked, to use Jay Ellis's terms.
That's not my terms. That is Mr. Malcolm. That's Malcolm X.
By both political parties, but also just in general, the struggles of the African-American race in conjunction with the color Black and how Black is seen in American politics. It's a brilliant book, incredible essays on everything from Caravaggio to modern TV, and just how a color Black plays in all of that, including fashion. So I highly recommend this. It's what I read right now on my coffee in the morning. Go check this out. Teju Cole, great writer.
Interesting. All right, Lee. Lee's book club recommendations. All right,
let's go.
I love reading, so I would definitely get that. That's
we can have Lee's book club recommendations. We're gonna have Jay Ellis and Ebony's anime recommendations, and we're gonna have
let's do it.
Ryan G's soccer breakdowns. I don't know.
I want to say
my OnlyFans recommendation too.
Oh man,
Mia Khalifa, baby, let's go.
Lee's gonna reveal the OnlyFans roster.
Oh my gosh,
the Ross said Tibbs is taking
Lee Escobedo's top 5 OnlyFans bang for your buck.
bang for your buck. That's funny. That's too funny.
Oh man.
No, I was looking at DeRoss. He said that Tibbs is tanking.
Yo, he's stupid. Yo, you know what about Jalen Brunson though? I don't think he's gonna be serious because he was able to put a little bit more pressure on it as it looks scary because he wasn't able to walk for a second. But I think he'll be fine. because it looked like he's able to put a little bit more pressure on it. So hopefully he'll be back. He got 2 games off.
I was
It's looking like a
scared, but then I
3-dayer
seen that
to me.
he stepped on the foot, made me feel better.
Yeah, because
When I
those
saw that he
non-contact injuries are the scary ones.
Exactly.
Yes.
That was my fear.
But he stepped
That
on
was my-
somebody's foot. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I breathed a sigh of relief. I did.
Man.
Yeah. But all right, man. Good show, guys. Good show.
Great show.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need this one. Man, y'all know I had a rough week. I had a rough year, but I had a rough week. So, oof.
Me too.
But good show, guys. That is our show, of course. Thank you guys for watching and joining our book club. If you like this channel, hit the like, subscribe button. Man, y'all really like this episode because attention keeps going up. So please, if you still up, hit that like and subscribe. And we'll be back each and every post game. Next game will be 2 games versus the Raptors. All right.
Yep.
All right. So that is our show. Yeah, Lee, let them know where they can find you. All right.
Who's first?
Go ahead, Lee.
It said Lee.
Yeah, we got 44 watching, 44 lights. Shout out Fritz. He's always in there trying to get the lights up. I see you, my man. And Nitziak, what the hell are you talking about Snowflake Book Club, bro? I can't even know I have a book about African-American culture about being a snowflake. That's a whack-ass comment, man. I hope someone smacks it where you are. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Twitter at _Lee Escobedo. I just got into a great debate with Uncle Fulio. Me and my guy got into a great debate about DeMar DeRozan. Go check that out on my threads. Great back and forth. Shout out Uncle Fulio. I disagree with every single thing you say and think, but I love debating you.
Shout out to Julio and NBK over there. All right, everything, where can they find you?
Only Lee. You can find me here every post game. You can also find me every pregame on X at Your Take Knicks. We do the pregames. So if you ever want to come give your take, you find me there. Definitely.
For sure. Definitely check out the pre-games over there. Yeah. Ryan G, let me know where you can find you. I'm getting tired. My brain's blanking.
You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Ryan G KOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN.
That's right. You also find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. And I hope you enjoyed the program. Yeah, that is our show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
That's out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.